Casey's biggest hits.
A year ago this week, one of the biggest hits in the USA was The Best Things in Life Are Free by a singer who got his big break when he had the nerve to criticize David Bowie right to his face. I'll have details and that big hit after this.
Casey's biggest hits.
8 years ago this week, back in 1984, one of the biggest hits in the USA was the biggest comeback hit of the decade by a legendary singer whose career was saved by just a few words from David Bowie. At the time, things were not going well for this woman. She had split up with her husband and was deeply in debt. She was trying to get a solo career going and found a manager who believed in her. But all he could do was book her into small clubs. One night when she was playing in New York City, David Bowie's record company threw a big party for him. After Bowie's new album was played and everyone congratulated him, David mentioned that he was going downtown to catch a show by his all-time favorite singer. The record company execs decided to go along, and the show they saw blew their minds. They signed the singer on the spot, and in return, she made the comeback of the decade with one of the biggest hits in the USA 8 years ago this week. What's Love Got to Do with It? By David Bowie's idol, Tina Turner.
AT40 Music.
From our Now and Zen file. When David Bowie was recently in Japan with his band The Tin Machine, he visited a Zen temple. There, the monks presented him with a bell-shaped stone more than 300 million years old. Now that's a souvenir worth writing home about, huh?
Casey's Top 40.
On Casey's Top 40, I'm Casey Kasem. Now we're up to our second debut. It's the new hit from Depeche Mode, a band that records by the light of nothing more than 2 candles. Over the years, we've heard a lot of tales of artists who need things to be just right to get the job done in the studio. David Bowie has to have a bottle of exactly the right mineral water by his side. And for years, Frank Sinatra wouldn't even consider cutting a song unless he was wearing the same beat-up old hat.
Casey's biggest hits.
A year ago this week, one of the biggest hits in the USA was by a singer who got his big break when he had the nerve to criticize David Bowie right to his face. It happened back in 1974 when Luther Vandross was struggling to get a break, working as a clerk for S&H Green Stamps. One day, a friend invited Luther to a studio to watch David Bowie make a record, the song called Young Americans. It was a frustrating session, and Bowie just couldn't get the vocal right. After listening for a while, Luther worked up the courage to walk up to the British superstar and suggest several changes. David Bowie looked at the young man for a long moment without saying a word. Then he said, "Okay, let's try it." And he asked Luther to sing along in the background. That was the start of a career that led to one of the biggest hits in the USA a year ago this week. Here's Luther Vandross along with Janet Jackson and The Best Things in Life Are Free.
Casey's Top 40.